Good afternoon to all present here. Myself Suresh Vijay, working as assistant professor in Department of CSE, Saint Martin Engineering College. Actually, today the presentation is about covering or exploring the basic concept of OOPS. OOPS is nothing but the object-oriented programming. Okay, so it is a way of approaching or developing the software where the most importance is given to the objects. Okay, OOPS is nothing but object-oriented programming. It is a kind of approach or a way of creating a software or a program where the importance is given to the only to the object. But what was before? Actually, object-oriented programming was introduced during the late of 1960s to 1970s. So it is good for the students to know what was before the evolution of programming language. So first, getting into the OOPS, before getting into the object-oriented programming language, I would like to tell you what kind of language or how we are instructing the computer before. That is before before the OOPS concept was introduced. Fine. First, we will explain about. So now I am going to explain about the evolution of programming language so that the student can understand that why we are giving importance to the object-oriented programming language. Fine. So now we are going to explain about evolution of programming language. Initially, we instruct the computer or whatever through the machine language or called machine language or assembly language. Then the programming languages evolved like logical programming language, then it was evolved as a procedural oriented programming language. Procedure oriented programming language. After that only, after the decades, actually the concept of object oriented programming was introduced. So it is good for the student to know how we are instructing the computer through machine language or assembly language. Then we will give some example for logical programming. Then I will cover what is procedure oriented programming. Then we will discuss the advantage and disadvantage of those three. Then we will dive into the object oriented programming in depth corner. Fine. Next I will explain about assembly language. Assembly language or machine language. See, in this assembly language programming or machine language programming, we used the computer registers as well as the temporary registers to store the data. We are using the opcode to operate on it. Listen here, say instruction is nothing but a combination of opcode and operand. Opcode defines the what action to be carried out or what task to be performed. It is called opcode, nothing but a task to be performed. Operand is nothing but a data where the operand works on it. Fine. Say we used to instruct the machines like through the mnemonic code. It is called mnemonic code. Say suppose if we want to add some numbers, listen here. I will tell you how to add two numbers using the assembly language or machine language program. We will use the mnemonic codes. See, MOV. MOV is the move that will move the data into the particular register. Say, I am using the register called R0. I am moving the data called 5 to the register R0. Then I will use the one more register called R1. Then I will transfer the data to R1. So now both the data 5 and 10 are operands. 5 and 10 are operands. These R0 and R1 are resources. Okay, holding the data of 5 and 10. Now what I will do? I will do the now I will use the add command to operate R0 and R1, R0 and R1. Okay. So the content available in the R1, then the content available in the R0 are added together, then the result will be stored in the R0. Okay, this is called the assembly level language program. What is the difficult in this assembly language program is that, say, we won't enter like this, add R0, R1 or move R0, R1 or move R1, 10. We won't do like that. Say, we will have a mnemonic sheet where the assembly language programmer will enter those secret codes, so that it will be get proceeded, it will be get executed by the processor. So it will be look like this. Move R0, some data, we will have some mnemonic code called 32. Okay. So we will enter 32, then we will enter the data file. 32 is nothing but the moving the data, some data to the register. It is called 32, a secret code. Okay. Then moving the data to one more register, it will be like 34. Assume that it is 34. Then 34, 10. Okay. Then adding the R0, R1. It will have its own mnemonic code. Say for example 10. Okay. So if the 10 is entered, then the processor will understand that we need to add the data. However, the data will be present in the registers. You fine? You got it? So this is how we instructed the computer to do the programs using the assembly level language. Since it is very difficult to learn, especially actually the assembly language programmers is not available that much. It is very tedious to operate in it. You got it? Assembly level programs are very difficult to learn, as well as it does not have much, it does not offer much functions to the developers. That is why we are not, initially it was used before, but after that when the programming language evolves, then it will becomes absolute. Nowadays we are not using the assembly level language program. Initially it was the first programming language. Okay, fine. Then as I said before, then the programming language evolved now. So it is evolved from assembly language to logical programming. Logical programming. In logical programming, how the decision is made, say, it will be having with the body and head. Body and head. Body are represented by different facts. Different facts. Fact 1, fact 2, fact 3. Okay. Based on the fact is become true or false, then the head will be get executed. Say, suppose if you are designing a software, for monitoring the temperature monitor using some sensor. You are designing a software to monitor the temperature. Okay. So you may have the sensor to know the air quality or air speed. Okay. Then the humidity also. Okay. Listen here. So if the air quality is too good, if it is yes, then it can make the clouds. You got it? Then the air speed, if it is goes within the 10 to 20 kilometers per range, then it is also become yes. Then the humidity is between like 10%, 60% to greater than 60%, then there will be a chance of getting rain. You got it? So the evolution of programming languages offers some kind of programming, developing the software to the programmers. So initially it was like developing, instructing the computer through machine codes. After that, it was evolved like a logical programming, where we are instructing the computer based on the facts. All the facts are represented in a body. Then head is nothing but the final result. What I am showing now, imagine you have created a software to predict whether the raining will be happen or not. So you need a different factors. You need a sensors to check whether the air quality then humidity, then airspeed. If it is all or yes, then we are getting the logical output that today you will get the rain. You got it? So this is called the logical way of programming. Next, again the programming languages, like many scientists work on it, the limitation and delimitation, I mean advantage and disadvantage of each and every programming language. Then they come up with the another programming strategy called procedure oriented programming. What is called? Procedure oriented programming. What is procedure oriented programming? I will tell you now. Say, before that, say procedure oriented programming follows the top down approach. First thing, procedure oriented programming follows the top down approach. Moreover, developing of software is divided into various functions. It is called procedure. Simply in day-to-day life, what is procedure? Procedure is nothing but a sequence of steps to be executed to perform something. Same in a computer industry, nothing but a procedure is also known as functions. Okay, what the function will have? The function will have set of codes. If it is get executed, some task will be completed. You got it? So procedure is nothing but a function. It will be said as function in different programming language. Function is used to execute or complete particular task. How the task will be get executed? Say function is having data as well as instruction. So many instructions is a sequence of instructions. These instructions are getting executed, then the task will be completed. Correct? So in procedure oriented programming, much important is given to the procedure, not on the data, not on the object. Okay, what is actually, I mean, what is the problem of today is that, say, we need to protect our data. You got it? What is the problem is today in the computer industry? We need to protect our data. So I will say procedure oriented programming language versus object oriented programming language. Here in procedure oriented programming language, it follows the top down approach, whereas in the object oriented programming language, it follows the bottom up approach, bottom to top. Okay, in procedure oriented programming, the importance will be given to the functions. Here the importance will be given to the objects. The importance will be given to the objects. What the object is that, say object represents some data. Where the data will be stored? Data will be stored in a variables. Who will operate on a data? Functions will operate on a data. You can correlate the differences. Say here we are giving importance only to the functions, not on the data. But what has to be secured? The data. Okay. So that is why we are moving from the procedure oriented programming into object oriented programming. You got it? I will explain it with the different one more real time example of creating software. Say the purpose of software is to reduce the human efforts as well as to reduce the complexity of performing some task. Say suppose if you are going for a railway ticket reservation, how was before in traditional days, how was now? Okay, nowadays you are opening up your mobile, then you are booking the tickets through online, right? But how was before? It is like you need to get out of the house, then you need to go to railway station, you have to stand in queue, then as well as you need to write some forms, then it will be given, it will be checked manually, then you will be get the seat or not. Fine. So in procedure oriented programming, listen here, this is the main task of creating software. Okay, this main task of creating software will be divided into many functions. Function 1, function 2, up to function 100. Imagine function 100. Each function will communicate with other function through the parameters. I mean parameters or arguments where we will mention the data here. So when the data is moved frequently between the different functions, we will have a data dependency. Suppose this function is operating on a data 1. Okay, this function 10 also work on a data, same data. Then the interdependency between the data will make the some issues while work on the or while using the application. So there is no security in the for the data in the procedure oriented language. That is why we are going to procedure oriented language into object oriented programming language. You got it? So far we discussed actually what is what is object oriented programming language. It is nothing but a approach to develop the software. It is a approach to develop the software where the importance is given to the data, not on the functions. Then we have seen about the evolution of programming language starts from the assembly language, that is low level language. After that, we have instructed the computer through logical programming. Then after that, the programming languages is evolved to become a procedure oriented language. The procedure oriented language also having so many issues, so that it will be evolved as a object oriented programming. We will see what is the basic building blocks of object oriented programming. I'll explain it one by one. As I said before, object oriented programming is nothing but it is a approach. It is not the technique, it is a approach that enables the programmer to construct a program or a software where the importance is given to only to the objects, not on the functions. We have seen what is the difference between procedure oriented language as well as object oriented language. Moreover, we have discussed the limitations of procedure oriented languages too. Next, we will see about the procedure oriented programming. It is a sequence kind of execution. Only when the process 1 completes, then only the process 2 completes. After that, process 3 continues. Okay. Suppose if any problem occurs between some of the process, then the remaining process cannot be executed. That is one of the disadvantage in procedural programming language. Moreover, the kind of data structure used by the procedure oriented programs like arrays and lists, where it can store only the homogeneous type of data. What is homogeneous type of data? Say, listen here. Suppose I will tell you what is homogeneous type of data. Suppose if we are using array, okay, how you listen? Integer a of 10. Integer is the data type, a is the name of the array, then 10 is the number of elements that you can store in a array. So it will be looks like this. From 0, 1, 2 up to 9. Okay. So first we will store the data 10, 20, 50, 15, 100, 1000, whatever. But see the data, say it is all are integer. Okay, the kind of data structure used by the procedure oriented language is arrays and all those things. Suppose, say for example, for day-to-day life, we are ordering the food through Swiggy. Okay, then what are the data we are giving now? Say like food code, food name, order in a particular restaurant. Okay, then food price, then offer. These are all combined together, then that will be sent to the particular restaurant. Think about it's different, the kind of data that we are working. Food code is integer, then food name will be in string, then restaurant name will be in string, then price will be in float, say like 50.00 or 200.00, like this, right? Then offer 50% like that. So all the things are clubbed together, then that will be combined as a single data called as collections. You got it? It is called collections. So the procedure oriented programming, the underlying data structure does not have the capability to store the different kind of data types. It can store only the data of the same type. That is also one of the important issue while going from procedure oriented language into object oriented language. Object oriented, many programming language like C++, Java, Python are implementing the object oriented programming language. So with this example, I hope that you understood the delimitations or the limitations of procedure-oriented language. That is why we came to the object-oriented programming language. Why? Because in procedure-oriented programming language, it uses the underlying data such as called list, arrays, where it can store only the data of similar type. It cannot store the data of different data types. It is one of the problem in procedure-oriented programming. So as we discussed before, it is a kind of execution of process, sequential process. Then the data structure they are using is, say, it can store only the similar type of data. So that is why we are moving from the procedure-oriented programming into object-oriented programming. We have seen the limitations of procedure-oriented programming just before. Then I will tell you the what are the basic building block of object-oriented programming. So as I said before, object-oriented programming, we are giving the importance to the object sites. So we need to know what is object, how to we collect, how to group them objects together. Then what are all the, how to secure the objects, those things we will see. So first basic block is that object. Okay. So what is a basic building block of object-oriented programming? It is object, then class, then we are having data abstraction, data encapsulation, then inheritance, then polymorphism. So those are called basic building block of object-oriented programming. I repeat again. See, object, class, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism are the some of the basic features of object-oriented programming. I will explain one by one. Object is nothing but a basic runtime entity. You can take anything as a object. This pen is also a object. The person is object. Object is nothing. Say the data and functions will be incorporated with the object. That will be represented in the class. So object is nothing. Say, for example, we can say that fruit is the class. Okay, under which we can have different type of objects like apple, banana, guava. Right. So in a classroom, we can say that from roll number 1 to roll number 70 is belongs to computer science and engineering A section. Then the 75 to 100 B section, then the 100 to 150 C sections. What are they? Actually, each and every students are representing the particular object. So what is class? The class is nothing but a grouping of similar object is known as class. So we can have the example, say, we can say that the class gives the blueprint for the object. The class gives the blueprint for the object. What are they? Say like BMW, Audi, Mercedes are different kind of object considered as a object. Okay. So the class will give the blueprint for the object. Or you can take this example. Fruit is the class where it is having different objects like fruit varieties, apple, banana, then guava. Okay. Due to the time limitation, I am actually taking the one important concept called inheritance. How much time left? Okay, fine. Inheritance is nothing but creating a new class from the old class. Creating a new class from the old class. The new class also contains what are all the available things in the base class. I will show you with the example. Say class A, then we are having some variables, integer a comma b, then we are having some function get, we are having some code, Okay. Then this is the base class. This is the base class. Then I'm constructing the one more class that is having all the properties of A, like that is class B. Class B extends class A. Okay. So what are the things available in class B is that whatever the class A can have, it is also made available here. But we can have additional features also. Whatever you want to implement in class B, you can add that also. That is called inheritance. The class B is nothing but a derived class or subclass constructed from the class called base class or super class. So what is the use of inheritance is that, say, we know the code reusability. We no need to code again and again. So suppose if we want to construct one more class called C with the what are the features available in C, what you can do? We can construct the class C by extending to extend the class B. So what the C class contain, whatever there in the B class, it is available. So whatever you want to implement additionally, you can implement in class C. So inheritance is nothing but creating a old class, creating a new class from the old class is called inheritance. What is the advantage of inheritance is, say, the code reusability. You need not to do the programming again and again. That is the advantage of inheritance. We have many types of inheritance called single inheritance, multiple inheritance, hybrid inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multi-level inheritance. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Why? Because, say, suppose the two classes having, suppose the class A, class B, suppose it is having the function name called function 1. This class B is independent of class A. It may also have the function name called function 1. Then if you are constructing the class C with the help of class A and class B, what will be available in class C? What will be available in class C? Function 1, again function 1. Okay. Say suppose when you want to execute the program in class C, what will happen? The compiler will not understand which function to get called. So that is the problem. In Java, a class cannot be the subclass for more than one class. So in Java, the class cannot inherit more than one class at the same time. That is why Java does not support multiple inheritance, but it can be implemented through interface. But in C++, it is allowed. We are not concentrating only about the Java. Why? Because many programming languages such as C++, Java, Python is also implementing the future called object-oriented programming language. Next, I will take one more important concept called exception handling due to time limitation. I will present a video now. So exception handling is one of the important feature in object-oriented programming language where it is not available in C++. The new features like exception handling, thread, multi-threading, thread synchronization, those things are available in Java but not in C++. What do you say? What is exception handling? Exception handling is nothing but it is used to handle the runtime errors. It is used to handle the runtime errors. Say we know that our program will be whatever we are doing now, it will be get compiled by the compiler. If there is any mistakes or error occurs, the compiler will know that, or it will return the what kind of error the program has. Say suppose some of the errors will be generated during the runtime. those errors cannot be handled by the compilers. It will be throw some kind of error to the users, or it will make the particular app to be run infinite loop. That is called exception. Those things will be handled by the very few methods called exception handling. So we are having many keywords like try, catch, throws. I will explain one by one. So what is exception handling? Exception handling is a handling of abnormal situation that will occur in a program. Consider we are having 10 lines of code, statement 1 to statement 2 up to statement 10. Say suppose, imagine the statement 5 may cause error. So this will make the remaining instruction not to be get executed. That is what it is a exception. Okay, it will not make the entire program to get run on it. So why? Because it throws some error. In order to handle that error, we are using the mechanism called exception handling mechanism. Okay. So what it is thrown? It is called exception. Okay. Exception and error. There will be a difference between exception and error. Error is caught by the compiler, where the exception is cannot be handled by the compiler. What are the types of exception? IO exception, SQL exception, class not found exception, runtime exception. Especially if you take the what is runtime exception, say suppose if you are dividing the particular number by 0, it is called arithmetic exception. Then null pointer exception, number format exception. What is number format exception? Say suppose when you are ordering the food, they will ask you to enter the how much quantity you need. You need to enter into a say the integer value 1 to 10 or whatever the quantity you want. Suppose if you enter the quantity with the string, suppose if you want the 10 quantity of ice cream, if you enter with the TEN, then the compiler cannot handle those kind of exception. It will throw the or it will make the entire application to be get stopped. That is a abnormal situation. That is why when we are having a particular when you are having the mechanism to handle those things, then it can be handled. So in Java, there are two types of exception: checked exception, unchecked exception. Checked exception is nothing but the errors that will be get by the compiler. Unchecked exceptions are called, say, which is cannot be handled by the compiler. It is called unchecked exceptions. Okay. So checked exception is nothing but it is also make errors, but it will be handled by the compiler, Java compiler. Okay. Then there are 5 keywords used for the exception handling. We will see one by one. First one, try, where the set of statement will be put together in a try block, which may cause the exception. That block is known as try block. It followed by the try keyword. So try is nothing but a block where it will have a set of statement that may cause the error or exception. Catch is nothing but another kind of block where when the particular exception is get thrown by the compiler, it will be caught by the particular catch block to handle the exception. That is called catch. So these are the keywords: try, catch, then finally. Throw is the keyword that is used to throw the exception to the user. So when the throw keyword is used, the exception will be thrown to the catch block. It will be get handled by the catch block. Next, throws, it will specify the what kind of exception is happened. Thank you for attending this video presentation. Thank you all.